What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Something in the Water podcast. I'm Cracka,
I'm Desko Martin.
and today we have
Ashely Medina.
How are you?
Ashely Medina.
It's all right.
How do I know where to look?
This is your camera right here.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
How do you introduce yourself and describe what you do to, like, let's say you got in an Uber,
Yeah.
and so like maybe they don't care a whole lot, but if you had to give like the long story short version of what you do, how do you describe that?
Usually just starts with like, I'm a hairstylist.
Hairstylist?
Yeah,
Okay.
because people will be like, oh, you're that TikTok lady. And I'm like, well, I mean, I do hair, and yes, I do capture it
On TikTok?
on TikTok, and everywhere. I mean, it started on MySpace, then it was Facebook, then it was Instagram. And now like
What you
the
know
spot.
about MySpace?
Man.
Now
I
the
had
spot
MySpace
to be
for a
is
little bit.
TikTok. So
Yes.
so yeah. And then
And real quick, you have more than 10 followers on TikTok. How many do you have?
I think it's like 690,000.
1,000. Yeah, I want to make sure you said 1,000.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, it is a lot.
And
of people.
I
I actually had to Google like what is. I think it was like back when it was maybe 300,000
Yeah.
or something. I was just like how many people is it? Like what does it look like?
Yeah.
And so then I looked up like how many does the U of M stadium hold?
Yeah.
And I think that's 200,000 or something.
Oh, wow.
So like
Dang.
just to think of it like that.
Yeah.
To think of it like that is
Good
interesting.
flex. Good flex.
So how did you get into first hairstylist? Is it a certain type of style that you're known for?
Yes, I am definitely known as a mullet lady.
The mullet lady?
Mullet lady. Okay.
Yeah.
When did you do your first mullet hairstyle?
On myself. So that's when this all started. Like I started doing hair I think this is my 26th year doing
Oh,
hair.
wow.
So
Wow.
How old are you?
I am 27.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
1999 baby.
96.
Oh, 96. I went
Yeah.
the other way.
What?
Went
Yeah.
the wrong way.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
96.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm about
yeah.
to turn 28 this year.
Okay.
Wait, so you're 27. Okay.
Yeah.
Math.
Math. Welcome to the math
Well, no,
podcast.
when she
Today we're
asked how
talking
old
about
I was,
geometry.
I've been
You had to
telling
think
people
about it?
I'm 30 now just because I feel like
Just
I'm so
round it
close.
up.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
then I was like, oh shit, I'm really
Did
27.
you say almost 30?
Yeah.
That's
Basically.
That's so.
Yeah. My girl's 30, so she's like, it's almost your time.
I'm
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
give you a hard time on that.
Mhm.
Yo, how are you? I'm 35. I'm 30. Whatever. I'm almost 30.
I'm 38 and 3/4.
Pushing it.
That's funny.
But I
No.
must. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I started hair like about 26 years ago, and it was just like my side hustle because I was vain. I probably still am. I care how I look, and so I just started doing my own hair. You can relate, maybe. I don't know if that's why you started doing your own hair. You just told me.
Yeah, it was one. It was saving money. Two, it
Yeah,
was
that
saving time. It was convenient. A lot of times, my hair grows really fast. So if I was going out of town and I needed a haircut, then it's like, dang, what if my flight's on a Sunday or a Monday, and most barbershops are only, they're closed on Sundays and Mondays. Damn, then I have to find a barber when I go to Florida or wherever I'm going.
Right.
And I thought it would be beneficial to learn how to do it. I've always been interested, and I butchered my hair countless times.
Is that why you're wearing a hat?
I need a haircut right now, so I'm wearing a hat. But yeah. So
It's a good promo anyway.
yeah, shout out to Crack House Studios.
Yeah.
If you're in the need for some studio services in the mid-Michigan area, check us out, crackousestudios.com.
Yeah, and I will say a lot of people do know you just by name, because even like I was telling my girlfriend I was doing this podcast, and I was like, yeah, her name's Ashely Medina, and she was like, oh, the hair lady, the curls lady, the curl specialist, and
Oh,
then like
nice.
even my barber, I was like, he was like, hey, how's the podcast going? And I was like, yeah, we got one coming up with someone named Ashely Medina, and he was like, oh yeah, my girl loves her content, like she's been meaning to book with her and stuff
Oh
like
my
that. So I'm
gosh.
like. I don't know how much content really reaches people until I say something like that and everybody knows who you are. So it's
like
crazy.
it's very much like the was it 8 degrees, 6 degrees, the Kevin Bacon
Oh,
thing.
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah,
Yep. So when do
definitely.
you feel like that started for you, just being so known on social media?
Well, okay, so I have to start like way back because
Yeah.
Let's take
since
it back.
it has been going back,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, like how do you go viral on TikTok? And it's
Mhm.
like, I can't tell you how to just off the rip go viral.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've been working on this since MySpace.
Because it didn't start like that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I and I choose to like not have another life. Like I don't do other things. Like we were talking about that too. Like I don't do stuff. So I choose to go home from work and either kick it with my kid or chill and edit and post consistently.
Yeah.
So other people have other priorities and they want to, you know, go to events and go to different things. And that's great, to each their own. But for me, that's been my grind. I've been grinding hard for, you know, a couple decades.
Yeah.
So I think that it started a long time ago, and it's just kind of like that slow and steady kind of like I've been seducing people for a long time, you know? And so I think that over time, then people gain trust, you know, and then they know what they can count on you for. And that's one of the things that like when I'm educating or when people are asking for my input or I'm mentoring or something, I let people know that like branding is important, and like for people to know like what to count on you for is important. Like when I go to someone's page, if I can't figure out what they're selling within a couple seconds, I'm a little disappointed. You know, it's like, how bad do you want to sell this? Like I want, you know, I came here because I want to support you, but like, what are you selling? And so I think that for a very long time, like when you go to my page, I've never had a personal, I might have had a personal MySpace, but I don't think I did. I think everything has always just been business.
Yeah.
And because I'm not rich yet, so I've just been on a hustle, you know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. So it started a long time ago, but I will say that I think that I was in the right place at the right time when I'm very thankful for quarantine, because at that time I was already like known as the crazy mullet lady in town. And so
what made you do the mullet hairstyle first?
Yeah. So what started that was just like one bad hair day. My daughter's birthday party was going on, and we got the pictures back from the party, and I was just disgusted at how my hair looked. And like, I've been doing hair for so long, I like refuse to have bad hair days, you know. I got to put a hat on or something. Like no one can see that. It's like a dentist with bad teeth or something. Like it's just unacceptable in my eyes. So I just didn't like how my hair looked. And so I was like, all right, I need to figure this out. I need to have like a hairstyle. Now that I'm a mom, I don't have time to always look at myself or like take time to do my hair. So I need something that just like always looks cool without any effort.
Okay.
So at that time I decided to shave my head and grow it into a mullet, because I had this weird like asymmetrical, it was like shaving on one side, like this on the other side. So I didn't know how else to just grow that into a mullet. So I was like, oh, let me just start over. So I shaved my head and I decided to grow it into a mullet, which I got no support on. Like no one thought it was a good idea to shave my head. No one thought it was a good idea for me to grow a mullet. And but I never really care, you know, what people think about my image. So I did it. And then as soon as I started growing the mullet, I started really like loving it. So then I started trying to talk all my clients into it. And then my first like claim to fame thing was this mullet selfies with strangers. So what I would do, this was before TikTok was a thing, is like when I would see a mullet in the wild, I would go up to that person, I would talk to them, ask them their story, like why do they have a mullet? How long have they had a mullet? I'd make them shake their mullet with me. And you know, and then I would post that and people got a kick out of it, and they would always like tell me that they were looking forward to seeing the next one.
What was the platform then?
At that time it was Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook, okay.
And I think I was starting to use TikTok for editing, but I was putting like a little sticker or GIF. Is it GIF or GIF?
There's a debate. I say GIF.
I think it's GIF.
Some people say GIF.
Okay. Well, I was putting stickers over the TikTok watermark because I didn't think people my age were supposed to be on there. And so I was just using it to use the music, because I kept getting like muted, you know, for copyright, whatever, when I would try to post stuff on like Facebook or Instagram. So those were the platforms at that time. And then when quarantine happened, I was already doing the things. And then I had more mullet clients at the time. People started growing mullets while they were at home in quarantine. I think they had like this very much like fuck it attitude where like, oh, I'm just on a Zoom call. No one can see like what's going on back here, you know? And so people were growing mullets. And then when we got back to the salon, it was just like go time. And then that's when things started going viral immediately, like when I got back.
If you were going to pitch me and Martin right now on 3 or 4 reasons or benefits to have a mullet, what would they be?
Okay. I don't usually do this. I don't usually have to pitch a mullet because it sells itself. And it is like a by request only kind of thing. Like it's not something I usually push on people. But the things that I love about the mullet, it's very functional. That's why I got it. I'm a very much like, one of the questions I was going to ask you guys, and I'll answer it first, is like, if you have any like words that you live by or like principles or like mottos or whatever. I would say mine is like form follows function. So like the form of something, like, yeah, things like look cool. I, like how my outfit looks, but the functionality is what's first. So like, is it cold outside? I wasn't sure if I was going to be cold or hot in here. And this is just like Michigan life anyway. You got to be layered so you can be prepared for whatever. So I'm very much a minimalist. So the functionality has just got to be like, it's very important. So that's the thing that I like the most about them all is functionality. 2, it looks badass, obviously.
Yo, I had a perm for quite a bit of years, and it was not quite like yours.
Yeah, we gotta post it. We gotta post it.
I had a big fro, and yeah, that was my jam. I've been teasing my wife that I was gonna bring the perm back.
Okay.
Yeah, and she don't want it. But
was she ever with you with the perm?
No.
That's probably why. She's never had the glory. So she doesn't know what she's missing.
Exactly. So let us know in the comments to bring the perm back.
Yes.
If I get one comment, it's back. So
yeah. I really want to know more about your schedule just on a day-to-day basis. Like how do you manage your time between, I know, like you said, being a mother, being a hairstylist, and then also like editing content, making content, stuff like that?
Yeah. What's a typical day in the life?
Typical day, I wake up around like 6-ish. And I will usually kind of like chill for a bit and like do some editing or research or like whatever it is, like get some ideas together or whatever before I like get out of bed. And then I usually just like I have my food all prepped. I usually do like once a week I'll food prep. And so then like in the morning, then I've just got to like warm some things up or like put all the things in my bag or whatever. So I'll pack all my stuff. And then usually like right when my daughter leaves for school, that's when I leave. And then I go to the gym. And then so I try to make it to the gym by like 7:30, 8. And then I go to work after that. So I don't work every so this is just like an example of one day would be I do go to the gym almost every day before work. And then work. And then after I get out of work, I usually will chill with my kid for a bit. And then I'll go to my room and just edit and then go to sleep.
What do you use to film your content?
My iPhone. Are you proud of me? I know you're looking for that. I have no fancy camera. I don't even know. I'm not sure which iPhone I have. You probably could tell me. Okay. My daughter could tell me.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you use
to
edit?
Upgrade. They tell me when it's time to update things. They just, it usually just appears at the house. I'm just like, oh, okay, I got a new iPhone. Like, or I got these AirPods or whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah. What do you use to edit?
CapCut.
Okay. How long does it take you on average to edit one video?
Well, the videos that TikTok was loving for a while that went viral a lot was the consultation style format video. And those take a really long time to edit. So I used to have more time than I have now. Now I'm just like booked solid all the time. So I don't have that much time to edit. So I've been kind of changing my format. And I've been doing like the B-roll video. So like 5-second videos of just whatever. And then having some like educational, informative, value in the caption or something like that.
Yep.
And that's been doing pretty well on Instagram and TikTok. So I've kind of like shifted my my focus and my like attention, my time and stuff, my energy to Instagram because I feel like I kind of get what Instagram wants from me. I kind of don't know what TikTok wants from me right now if I'm not providing those consultation videos that they keep reminding me that they liked so much. But.
How is it to deal with that? Because I went through that myself with on YouTube. I did a few music video educational tutorials, and then those got a lot of views. And then it seemed like anytime I did a video that wasn't that, and then you see the views, and it's like in YouTube they have this it's YouTube Studio when you sign in, and it rates your video based on how it performs 1 through 10. So when you see this 10th place on the video and it's like 10 out of 10,
kind of
it compares the most recent video to your last 10 most recent videos, and it ranks it.
Okay.
So if you ever upload a video and you see 1 out of 10, it's this great rewarding feeling. And then there's like these fireworks that go off on the back end of it.
Like literally?
Yes, I swear to God, it makes you feel like awesome. And then when you sign in and you see 10 out of 10, it sucks. So it does affect, at least with me, it affected my thought process with creating content. And then it made me more, I guess, reluctant when it comes to, like, if Martin was saying, I have an idea, we should do this for content, I would pause and be like, wait, I don't know if that'll do as good as my music video tutorials, and that might not work. And then I start questioning and I stop creating. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, and I've definitely gone through that too. Like, oh, these are the videos that do well, so I'm going to do this, or like, will this do well, so I'm going to do this. But now I try to look at comment sections in a lot of like my content, and then like other people's content too, to just kind of get in people's minds and like hear from the people, because you know the algorithm is just the people telling us what they want. So I do try to just provide value. And so whatever it is that I think that I can provide that I think is the most valuable, I'm just going to keep putting it out there. And if I'm just consistent and I just keep putting it out there, then at least I'm doing my part. And I feel like I will be appreciated in some way or another, either if my videos do well and that gets me more clientele, or it opens another door, like you guys inviting me here, or, you know, just different things like that. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a viral video for it to like do something.
What would you say to someone out there that's either a business owner, or they provide a service, and they're, let's say they're hesitant about creating content because they're thinking, I'm already busy, and I see everyone saying I should be on social media. I need to be creating content, but I don't know if it's actually going to help my business or not. What would you say to that?
I think that it's not going to hurt anything. So I think that getting into the practice and like staying with the times, like this is the times
Oh, I
that we
love
live
what you
in.
said, staying with the times.
Staying with the times is just
My
like,
pet peeve is people that refuse to stick up with the
yeah,
times.
they're like, oh, well, I used to do this. Like anyone that says starts a sentence with, I used to do this, or like, you know, talking about how things worked in the past or whatever. I already kind of like lost interest in that sentence, because I'm looking forward, and and I think that this is the direction that we're going. And so I'm like, when in Rome kind of thing, like speak the language of the peoples. So this is the language right now. So it doesn't hurt anything. And you can literally make a video in less than a minute, because those are the ones that do well, you know, right now, at least on both TikTok and Instagram. You can do really well with just doing the B-roll videos. People love to watch things in progress, you know, the process of things happening. So whatever someone is doing on a day-to-day, whether it's me just like packing my lunch, or going to the gym, or you know, I have a video of me like showing how I wash my hair, you know, and people, that one went viral. That one I think has got like 10 million views, because it's like, you don't see that often, obviously. But anything throughout the day that you're doing is going to be interesting to somebody. You know? So I think it's worth trying. And it really doesn't take much effort if you like, I follow a lot of different pages that give examples of like things to do and ways to make it interesting, and like how to film in different angles and stuff like that, just to, you know, because I am a hairstylist, but I do try to do my best with like filming and editing to make it like interesting.
Something I want to ask both of you guys, because you guys are both kind of giving me the same energy, but is it easy for you guys to make friends and to keep friends?
Was it?
I know that's so left
through
field.
Content, or just
just
life?
Because I'm thinking in general, like, you know, how you said, you know, you kind of like, you're very work based, you know, you spend time with your daughter, you're back to work. I feel like you're the same person. So it's kind of like, I'm thinking out loud, like, how hard is it for you to like meet somebody new and then continue that friendship with them, just as, you know, in the current state that we're living in right now?
You want to answer first?
Sure. I mean, I don't set anyone up with any sort of expectations that we're going to like do things that a typical like friendship would like consist of or whatever. Like my idea of friendship is supporting each other, rooting for each other, like wanting each other to succeed, not being like jealous or, you know, envious of each other, like literally rooting for each other. So that to me is how I show my support. So I do feel like I have friends all around the world because we like support each other and we're like sharing each other's work. We're commenting, we're liking. That's really all that it takes. Like a like, a comment, a share, those things go really far. And those things like help other people, you know, it helps create more connections like that. So that's kind of like what I consider a friendship right now, because I don't like hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't like to just go and hang out, and I don't like to do things. So that's what I can do for a friend.
Yeah. What about you, Crack?
For me, it is common interests, common goals, common lifestyle. It's a lot easier to make friends when it comes to that. And the friends that kind of came in and went out in phases, when they came into my life, it was they came into my world. Whether it was I remember one of my friends, close friend today, but when we got really close, he was working on an album. So it's like he came into my world. He was coming to the studio.
Yeah.
So now it was like he was in my world, and that was the common thing. Is like, oh, music, studio, creating. This is a thing that we have. We're pursuing big dream, goal, success. So that was a common theme. And then when he kind of fell off and stopped doing music, we don't have that common thing anymore. So it was a lot of when he would come around is like bringing up old stuff. Remember when we were always getting together in the studio? It's like, I still do that today. I remember. So it's like, I don't know, the conversations got shorter where it was more so catching up. So I seen a video the other day, and it was talking about find the people that you enjoy and then do life with them. So it's like planning your life and being intentional with, that's why we have this podcast. Yeah. It was, he had a podcast at one point. I had a podcast at one point. That was a common theme that we had in common. Also music, creating visual camera stuff, aspirational, motivational, self-improvement type stuff. And it was
like 2-hour conversations on the phone and not recording nothing.
Yeah. And so for me, it's being really, really, really intentional with my time.
Yeah.
So
that too.
It's like, if we talk, let's say for an hour a week, in the conversation, if that was captured, now we're being productive because we're creating content and having a conversation and building our audience. And it's like, so I think in terms of like that with like everything that I possibly can. So even my wife, I'm trying to convince her into doing a podcast with me, because I'm like, hey, it's a thing that we can do together, and it's productive, and it's creating content, and it's sharing, because she currently doesn't have the confidence to like talk to a camera right now. She has, but like, so I'm like, I'll be your partner. I am comfortable with doing that. So like, you just be the co-host right now, but I'm going to build you up. And over time, then you'll be confident enough to like do it on your own. And then you don't even need me. And then maybe you say, screw me, and have a friend be on the show with you or whatever. But
so it sounds like common interest, and then the way, if that, deters, or if that goes the opposite ways, then just likes, comments, making sure you're supporting the other person. That's how you kind of maintain the friendship, right? Yeah.
Do you ever interacting with each other? Yeah.
Yeah. Ashely, do you ever feel like, or both of you guys, do you ever feel like you're missing out on anything by working too much? Like, do you ever feel like the fear of missing out on things that maybe have passed by or that are yet to come?
Like what?
I don't know. I would say like, I know a lot of people. So for instance, like I know people who have told me, just based on looking on social media, like damn, like they might see a picture of their friends that are out boating somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They're like, man, I wish I was there right now, but I'm working or I'm doing this. Like, how do you have? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I already did all that, and I'm just like, I'm 44. I'm on a different, like, I'm building a spaceship. So we'll all go to space eventually. I'll bring you guys all with me, or someone's building a spaceship. Yeah. Anyway, Yeah. So I just don't feel the FOMO at all, ever. I have to think hard about that if I'm wrong, but I can't think of a time where I feel like I'm missing out. I'm just not like I'm not a pleasure seeker. Yeah. And I don't do things for like entertainment personally. Even like I don't watch shows or I watch a movie, but that's like the function of that is like hanging out with my daughter. Like if she's watching a movie,
Yeah.
she's into like scary movies right now, and I do not like scary movies,
Yeah.
but that's how I hang out with her. She's
Yeah.
13, so I will take what I can get. So, yeah, I just don't. I don't feel that.
Yeah. What about you, Frank?
I think the same. I've always said that my biggest sacrifice is time away from family. So I think that especially when you have a kid, and then like every year there's such a change from like 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and I mean every year. So yeah, it's always the fear of or the sacrifice time away from them, and
Right.
yeah, I mean shout out to Alyssa, she holds it down because
Yeah.
I specifically remember a time, just like one of my peaks. We're in LA doing a music video, and so maybe anxiety, a bad thought, or whatever thing that I have, it's like I'm always thinking of my daughter and hoping that like she's having fun or doing good. And then like Alyssa sent me a video, and yeah, it's like Maya's at a lake. She's in like an inflatable tube, and she's like kicking her feet and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I see that, I'm like, she's great. She's having the time of her life.
Yep.
Alyssa sending me a selfie of her.
Yeah.
They're at the beach in a lake.
Yeah.
We're on top of like a hill in LA shooting a music video. The
Right.
sun's out. I was like, bro, I remember saying to Malik, there's times in life where you look around and you think I must be doing something wrong. Then there's times in life where you look around and think I must be doing something right. And I said, this is one of them times where I must be doing something right.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do that kind of make sure like you take care of your mental health with
Yeah,
going
let's
through
talk
it?
mental health.
Yeah, I really want
Yeah.
to talk about that. Just
Yeah.
social media wise too, and everything that's you got going on.
Let's start with a low point. Where's one of the like lowest mental health moments that you've had that you can recall?
I can say I've had a few, or like losing someone close to me or something.
Yeah.
But since you brought it up, I will say that recently I had like a situation of a client was in my chair and we had a conversation that got taken out of context, and she kind of misquoted me and took it out of context and posted online and said my name and said that I am a secret racist and that
That's
everyone
crazy.
should unfollow me and not do business with me. And I reached out to a few of my clients, and they said, oh yeah, like, well, one person, this person will be getting a free haircut on Saturday because I really appreciate this person. But one, she stood up for me and was like, that's not Ashley's character. Like, it must be a misunderstanding. And then she immediately sent that to me and was like, oh, I just saw this, like, what's going on? And gave me the opportunity to like explain. Now, I reached out to this client that I had this misunderstanding with to try to, have a conversation with her and explain like that was not my intention at all. It's not what I meant. And I tried a couple times and she wouldn't respond. So
Fell on deaf ears.
yeah. So
Jesus.
it told me that she didn't really want to understand.
Yeah.
Was it a first time client, or had she been
No,
to
it was
you?
someone that I had done this person's hair quite a few times in the past, and then hadn't seen this person for a couple of years. And then they reached out to me and asked if I could do their hair because they were in town for the holiday or something. And so I did. And then
Why do you think they would do that?
Do you want to know what was said? You want to know about the conversation? So,
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if it was like intentional. Like, I think that they misunderstood me, and I think that I understand why, and I wanted the opportunity to apologize because it makes me, and that's why I have this low point, is like being misunderstood by this person, and then all these other people that might have seen me up here, and then like, oh, I thought she was like here. I guess she's like down here, So what happened is this person had recently moved to Utah and was complaining about how there's so many Mormons there. And I don't really know much about Mormonism. I honestly don't know much about a lot of religions or history or anything. And I've already made like an apology video about that, when all this stuff started happening in Gaza. I'm like, I had to really sit back and like do a bunch of research before I spoke on it. Cause I'm like, I don't know anything about what's going on. Like all I see is like what's being posted. And so I already apologized about like, I'm very ignorant on this stuff. I'm happy to be educated on this stuff. So anyway, she's, and actually I don't know what this person's pronouns were. So I'll just say they, them. But they were talking about how they live in Utah and then there's so many Mormons and they don't like, you know, being surrounded by so many Mormons. And in my mind, I was thinking like, isn't Utah like the Mormon state? Like, I wonder what made this person choose to live in Utah when it's like known as like the Mormon state, you know? So I was trying to like reason with this person and be like, oh, you know, like I remembered learning back in the day that Mormons were discriminated against wherever they had immigrated from or wherever they were. I think maybe in the East, I don't know. They had decided to like go to this area, which wasn't even a state yet. They created Utah. Like basically I think it was part of Mexico. I think it was part of Mexican territory. And they were like, the only people that were really there at the time were like Native Americans. They walked their asses from wherever, New York or I don't know, wherever they were, I think on the East Coast. They walked their asses to this place that no one else was in because they're like, fuck it, we can like do our shit, whatever it is that Mormons do. Again, like I really don't know, but whatever it is, I don't know. But I always get Amish and Mormon kind of like confused, but like I think they make a lot of their own shit. So I think that I like some things about the culture, but like I don't really know. So, but anyway, I was just trying to like reason with my client and be like, because I knew that they had basically created Utah. So I think if you create Utah, there's going to be a lot of you and your people there because that becomes like the safe place where you can practice your stuff without discrimination. So I compared it. Now, this is where I was ignorant about the sensitivities of this heightened sensitivities of this issue right now because I'm ignorant to some of these things. But I said, is it like how there's a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood and media? Now, I did not know that some other people, like I know that Kanye West had said his thing. But I didn't know, like, I guess Nazis have said some things like that, where it's like, oh, they're going to take, like the Jews are going to take over. I wasn't saying that. I didn't know that that was something that they had said. I was just saying, like, because I also remember learning that the Jewish people were discriminated against wherever they were at originally. Again, I don't know where that is, but they, I think it was the Warner Brothers created the idea of Hollywood. So then Hollywood became a safe place for Jewish people. And so then more and more and more Jewish people came to Hollywood because that was like their safe place. So I was just trying to like reason with this person, be like, oh, like that's probably why. Like maybe if you don't like how they practice or like whatever it is, if they're treating you bad or whatever, like I don't think Utah is like the place for you. But I didn't get to that point because all I said was, the only thing that I said was, is it like how there's a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood and media? She goes, no, that's the Christians. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm like, I could be wrong. Like maybe I thought I learned that at some point. I thought I knew, but I don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to like things like that. So I was like, oh, okay. And I just dropped it. So that was the extent of our conversation. We finished the haircut and then they posted the whole like Ashely Medina, AKA Mother Mullet, is this raging, crazy, racist, anti-Semitic, whatever. Because then someone else reached out to me and was like, hey, Ashely, what's going on with this situation? And I was like, oh, no, that was a misunderstanding. Like, this is what happened. And I basically explained what I just said to you guys because I didn't think there was anything wrong with like my intention. And then that person took it to the client. And then the client said, oh, when given the opportunity to apologize, she just doubled down on it and said like, you know, just confirmed it. And I was like, well, I thought I was confirming what I said because I didn't think that like I didn't have any hate in my heart or intentions. So I think that is something that it was a learning opportunity. It has been a very low point for me, and it's been really hard for me to sleep a lot of nights because I'm bothered that I hurt someone. I'm bothered that other people are let down. Because if it's about like who I am, if you don't like me of like who I am, I can sleep at night. But if it's like a misunderstanding, it's like hard for me, you know?
So what do you do in that situation? Did you post anything
publicly?
No,
I haven't. And that's why I thought like, if it gets brought up today on this podcast, like if this whole thing gets posted, then I can, if someone asks me about it or something, or, you know, I can say like, go to this link, you can see the whole like what happened here, because I'm so afraid now too of being taken out of context again. I don't know how to post a little 90-second thing on Instagram and it, you know.
But I think that's also like the importance of how you just explained the whole story when you were saying like, again, I don't know too much about, the culture or this and
Yeah.
that, like making sure that people are aware that you're no expert. We're none of us are
No,
experts on
and I like
anybody
learning.
else.
I like
Yeah,
talking about
exactly.
this stuff because I like learning. And I
Yeah.
thought that, like, if she was correcting me, like, if it's more Christians there, like, okay, like, I'm intrigued by culture. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued by
Yeah.
religion because I don't know anything about it. Like,
Mhm.
I've never grown up in a religious family. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. And I love all people. So I'm open to learning about different cultures. I just had like this Muslim mom and daughter in my chair recently, and I was just asking them so many questions. First, I asked
Yeah.
permission. I was like, is it okay if I ask you questions? Because I'm
Yeah.
so intrigued by like your culture. And yeah, I think at the end of that, I was like, man, maybe I need to be Muslim because it just seemed like seems like such a beautiful culture.
Yeah. And where do you go from this low point? Like, how do you, like, I already know he said, how do you deal with it? But where do you feel like what happens next for you?
Yeah. Well, I think that like, that, thank you very much for like letting me get that
Yeah.
out because I haven't like gotten it out publicly. So I think that I will feel better knowing that I said how I feel and I got to like explain like what happened and explain like my point of view and everything. I think that's been like the weight on my shoulders, honestly, is like one being misunderstood, but at least if I had the opportunity to like explain, then at least I got it out and then I can like move on. If it's like, if people missed it, because now I think that maybe if someone unfollowed me, like maybe they're not going to see me say like,
Yeah.
hey, like find it over here on, the podcast. But I can at least like, I can move on, I think, knowing that, that I said what I was feeling and I apologize. I do apologize for hurting anyone. I do not ever want to hurt someone in that way. Like, again, if it's something that I like feel and I hurt someone's feelings, it's like, I do feel bad for hurting someone's feelings, but you're always going to like, people are always going to like get hurt and be sensitive about certain things. But when it's something like that, when it's like racism, that's an extreme thing to call someone. And I just didn't think that I deserved that, like call me ignorant, call me stupid, like call me these things, because like in those topics, I'm sure my IQ is very low, but my intent, I think that we should focus more on people's intent than their words, because words are hard and complicated and like they can be understood a lot of different ways, but like the intention, like that's what I focus more on with people. Like, do I get a good feeling from this like person? Do I think that they have good intentions, because, and if they're like a respectful person, then we can have a conversation and we can like come to agreement, or agree to disagree on something and be like, okay, and still have that respect for each other.
Yeah.
You're very considerate of other people's feelings.
Yeah.
That's all I was thinking.
I can tell you're passionate about everything you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, tell us about some high points of just your job in general.
Well, I think that is a good little like segue, and like backpacking off of that is like, I think that that's why I've done so well, like on social media, is because like when I was doing those consultation videos, people are like, wow, she like really cares about these people. Like, and these consultation videos were like a minute or two long. And people were like baffled. They're like, wow, she cares. Wow, she's asking so many questions. I'm like, bro, I just asked like 5 questions. Like, I do try to ask as many questions as possible to make sure that I'm giving my guests like what they want. But I'm like, the bar is like way too low. Like, we need to raise it. And so I'm glad I learned that a lot of hairstylists and barbers were like learning from those consultation videos. And honestly, I will not say that I started the mullet trend. I think that was already like happening. It was going to happen. But I have a feeling that I started the consultation videos. I'm just going to say that. If anyone can find a consultation video from before quarantine, I would be intrigued to see that, because, and I'm just saying that because I'm really proud if I did, inspire some people to do the consultation videos, because we're learning from each other and like how to make people feel appreciated and heard and respected, because that's a very vulnerable place to be in, and be in that chair and have someone like cutting your hair. And like, we have the power to like fuck up your like confidence for like a month or two or longer, if it's like a, something that's going to take longer than that. So I feel very grateful and very honored that people trust me and they come from so far away. Like, I drove I can't even remember. I drove, I think, to Pontiac or something like that for a tattoo. And I started tearing up like on my way home because I'm just like, I can't believe people drive this far. Like, this is so far. Like, I don't leave my bubble. You know what I mean? I don't leave. So when I drove like an hour or whatever, and then I had to drive back and it was like raining. And I was like, man, I can't believe people do this like all the time. Like, I just feel very fortunate, you know.
What led to the ideas or the inspiration behind doing that style of videos?
It just happened. I don't know. Like, I think, do you guys know who guy with the mullet landscaping is? Al Durham?
No.
Oh, yeah. You guys got to have him on. He's
Okay.
like such a great personality. He's a very interesting guy too. And actually, that's how I originally heard of Mondo.
Oh, okay.
So Mondo has done his hair. But he came in one time and he wanted to get a mullet, and I think that might have been one of the first videos that like he just seemed like a character. He had this long hair and we were going to mulletify him, and so I was just like, we got to capture like this whole process. And then
Do you just ask for permission, or how?
Yeah, sometimes I would ask for permission and then sometimes I wouldn't. And so far there was only like one person that was like, you really should ask for permission before you do this. But for me, how I liked to do it was more hidden camera style. And then at the end be like, hey, just so you know, I filmed that. I can delete it right now if you don't want me to use it. Or if you want me to show you before, like when I'm done editing, I can show you, you know? And so, because then I would get like their like relaxed, like they weren't thinking about the camera kind of thing, you know?
That's what they say.
As soon as people know cameras there, they just get weird.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, so it was kind of like how I would do it. And there was only one guest that was not feeling that. They're like, you should have let me know ahead of time. I'm like, okay.
Have you ever gave someone a bad haircut?
For sure. I've been doing this 26 years. There are plenty of people. Raise your hand in the comments. You can tell me. I actually did a thing one time and I'll do this, I think, every year. Once a year. I think I can only handle it once a year, but I did like the anonymous messages. I have to like really prepare mentally and emotionally for this, but I'd be like, tell me, and you know how you can do those anonymous messages?
Yeah.
I'd be like, tell me about a bad experience that you had with me in any sort of way.
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
I encourage you to do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Because you learn. Because, you know, people don't want to tell you to your face, you know, or even like Yelp review it.
Especially if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just give people the opportunity to tell you how they feel without you knowing like who they are and stuff, you know? So I forget why I brought that up.
Bad haircut. Ever had a bad haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will tell me that they think I do the same haircut on everybody or I cut their hair too short. This one lady said, like, I came in and told you I wanted to grow my hair out and you cut it shorter. And I think you need to take a step back and check yourself. So now my coworkers are always like, hey, Ashely, have you checked yourself lately? I'm like, you know what? I think it's about time I need to check myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Has anybody not liked the mullet?
Yes. And actually, one of those people, too, was in my chair today. I had a note on her appointment that said, you cut her hair too short on October 30th. And so I'm just like on pins and needles around her. Like, I'm not going to cut your hair too short.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people have like not liked the mullet. You know, they get it and then they come back a couple days later or something. I always offer complimentary adjustments. So within the next week after you get your hair cut, if you want anything changed, you know,
oh yeah, that's nice.
then you can come in for an adjustment. But then there's been a couple people that it just didn't suit them. You know, they wanted to try it out and I give them, you know, they're still in the mullet club in my eyes because you did it, you know, like you got the sticker, you're in the club, like you can come to the party. So. And
then can we talk about the curls, being a curl specialist? So
how
do you become a curl specialist and what does that mean? And how can people take better care of the curls?
Yeah. Okay. So that whole thing started because I've just always had a passion. Actually, this all started because of my success story. So I used to be so insecure about my hair. Like in high school, I didn't realize how curly my hair was. And this is something I hear all the time, like almost every day from my clients. They either tell me that they have straight hair or they just have wavy hair. They don't have curly hair. And I'm looking at my assistant and we're like, she has curly hair, you know, this is going to be so fun at the end to show them that they have curly hair. But in high school, I was very insecure about my hair because I just thought that it made me look less cute. It was straggly and kind of trashy looking and I didn't know how to do it. And so I would straighten it a lot of time. And then when someone showed me how to actually do it, then I started doing it. And then I actually won best hair in my high school.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So it can go from something that you feel insecure about to something that's like empowering. So I
Yeah.
like to be that person for other people, the people that are insecure about it. Not only do you not have to be insecure about it, you can actually love your hair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think the main thing is the shampoo.
Shampoo.
I would rather someone use nothing than the wrong thing, because the wrong shampoo is going to cause all the problems. It's going to make it frizzy. It's going to flatten the curl. It's going to just do so many bad things.
Before you say what shampoo you should use, what shampoo do you use?
Raw
Head and
sugar.
Shoulders. Oh, raw sugar?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just because I know it's like I just used before I got here. It's like a vegan raw.
Okay.
I don't know if it's good though. You tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ingredients are of
Yeah,
that.
it's supposed to be all natural, but I'm not sure.
So
yeah.
I love the idea of things being all natural, because I'm very much like a health freak. Like my makeup is organic. My clothes aren't, and that bothers me. That like my clothes are not like organic.
Mm-hmm.
But like my food, I buy all organic. Everything, my hair care, that's all natural too.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to find natural hair products that are actually good for curls, that are actually going to nourish the curls, because a lot of times it's going to be too cleansing.
Oh, okay.
So the more cleansing it is, the drier your hair is going to get. And dry hair equals like flat, frizzy, either flat for like certain hair types, but for your hair type, it'd be more fluffy, more frizzy, less definition.
Yeah.
Less shine.
So what's something we should use? What's something? Or what, some recommendations?
Yeah, I like New Wash is a good one.
Okay.
I use Mizani at the salon that I'm at. Either one of you, I know you don't really have like a lot of hair. You like keep your hair really short, but if you ever want just like a shampoo and style, I got you on the house.
Oh,
So
for
if
sure.
You guys ever want to just like experience the salon experience?
Yeah. Something in the
I
Water
got you.
podcast.
Yeah, salon day.
Yeah, salon day.
Yeah, a little field trip.
Yeah.
For sure. So from there, how can people become, like, can anybody book with you? Oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I didn't fully explain like how you become a curl specialist. So like over time, so like I became passionate about curls at that moment where I was like, oh, I have curly hair. Like that was eye opening. Like cool. And then I was doing hair, and so then just having passion for natural texture, being like, I'm just a natural type of person. All natural is natural of anything in my lifestyle as I can get. So it just kind of goes along with my lifestyle. But then to actually get like certified, there's like different classes and stuff that, you have to pay to further your education, because they don't teach curls in cosmetology school.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How do you learn then?
You just have to have a passion for it, and you have to seek that knowledge, just like anything else on the internet you can find. You can find skills. But for me, this has just been something that comes natural for me. Like I'm sure a lot of the stuff that you do, you just figured it out. You probably didn't have to watch a video on every single thing that you do. You just like, you have a natural inclination and a natural like passion for like filming and stuff. So you just like have an eye for it. And so for me, it's just like sculpting. Like I'm sure all sculptors didn't like go to school for art. They just like see a shape and they just sculpt until they get to that shape. So that's how I have been with cutting hair. I'm just like going for a shape and a silhouette. So I feel like I could cut hair in the dark with just like a shadow, because I'm just going for a shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to be actually certified and have people be able to find you on these like certain curl websites and stuff, you have to like go to classes and pay extra for that. But also if you can't afford that, you can also just learn curls your own way, YouTube and stuff like that. And you can hashtag your work, because that's how a lot of people find me. They don't go to these curl websites. They're just searching Curl Specialist Michigan or Curly Cut Michigan, things like that. And that's how they're finding me. So
yeah. And can anyone book with you?
Well, it depends on, you have to get what I want to do. Like you have to get a certain type of haircut.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see my list that I posted the other day? It was like, this is what I will do. I will do mullets, curls, shags, gay shit.
That's it.
Anything gay. Let me help you with your gayness. Like what look are you going for, But that's a big one. Like a lot of people are transitioning, they're feeling too feminine or they're feeling too masculine, and that the hair is just like a great, like painting a wall. Like you just change the whole look with a haircut. So yeah, it's got to be like one of my things. I won't do Crackalax haircut.
Bald fade.
I will send you to Sandy.
But you will
for that.
shampoo them though.
I will send you. Yeah.
How important is the non I guess, like the actual skill and cutting skills that you provide. So like the gift of the gab, talking to your clients, how important is that compared to the actual cut that you're doing?
Ooh, I was telling Desko, I've become a pretty quiet stylist these days.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of get in the zone. And I feel like the busier I get, you know, the more clients that I have in a day or the more clients that I have in the week and whatnot, it's just like, I don't have that much to talk about. You know what I mean? And like, I can't learn about everyone's life. I have to, you were talking about mental health. Like, what do I do to preserve my mental health? That is one of the things. I have to have boundaries and stuff. And like, if I have like 7 new guests in a day sometimes, you know, and it's like, I can't learn about your whole family and then have you not come back. Like, you know, it's like, these are things that we will just organically learn about each other over time. If you plan on, a lot of people do just see me one time. They come for the spectacle of it. Like, oh, I want to go see Mother Mullet, you know, and they drive from out of state and they do the thing and they get the patch and they're in the club and all the things. And then I never see them again. Yeah. And that's okay. I think that basically is almost my business model at this point, is like people just coming from all over the place and doing the thing and, you know, and then saying they did it, you know, checking it off their list or something. But, and I'm okay with that. But I can't learn everything about everybody. And so I really try to focus on teaching people about their hair, and then answering any questions that they have for me about their hair or about me, you know, because I want them to feel comfortable with me, like being up in their space. So if they have questions about like where I'm from or whatever, I'm fine with that. But I'm not too much of a small talker. Okay. At this point in my career. Yeah. Okay.
Do you mentor at all?
Mentor? Yeah. I teach classes at Douglas J Cosmetology School, and then the barber school comes over too. Okay. So I would say like I'm mentoring when I'm teaching them. And then I'm doing a giveaway soon where I'm going to include like mentoring time with whoever wins. Nice. And it is something that I've considered like in the future, maybe the near future. Like I started a YouTube and I started a Patreon and I had these big plans and big goals, but I kind of talk myself out of things a lot. I like overthink and stuff. And it's like, I'm comfortable in this TikTok and Instagram, you know, realm and neighborhood. Like going out of the hood is just kind of like, kind of overwhelming. It's like a long trip.
I know you said you had some questions for me.
Yeah. I mean, I've been following your journey since probably 2007 or 2008. Yeah. It's a very long time. And you've just always been doing you've been doing the same thing, but I just keep seeing you like come up and up and up and up. And it's just so inspiring to see that like in Lansing, Michigan, you know, and that's why I like to be another person in Lansing that's like not leaving the city and like doing something here and providing something and value in this city so that less people, you know, want to leave. So my questions for you are just like, I guess like how did you get started in filming? It was because you're an artist yourself. So is that how you got into the filming? Like what was first, you making music or you filming?
Music. Yeah, it's basically a lot of solving my own problems. Like wanted to make music. Back then needed beats. You couldn't just go on the internet and find millions of amazing beats from people all over the world just like shoved down your throat. So you either had to make the beats yourself or know someone that makes the beats. So I was the friend out of the group that was like, I'll pursue this. I'll be the one to figure out making beats. So I did that. And then it was like, all right, now we actually got to record these songs. All right, cool. I'll be that friend too. That'll record, mix and master. I'll figure that out. And then once we had some songs, I remember the next step was learning photography to be able to take the picture to do like a CD cover. So learning photography and learning graphic design to then cut us out and then put like money and cars and buildings behind us in the backdrops and stuff. So learning graphic design. And then it was like the next thing was, shoot, YouTube's around. We got to start doing videos. All right, I'll learn videography and video editing. So it was that. And then it's just kind of kept going and going and going.
Are you still making music?
No. Okay. I retired when I was 23.
I think you should. I think you should.
12 years.
Okay.
I would have some cool shit to say the other night. It's funny. So I managed this music artist named Speed Gang, and he came to the studio, I want to say a few weeks ago. And when they walked in, they were like reciting the lyrics to one of my rap songs from like
Oh, that's cool.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were saying it over and over and over again. And then, we put it on and they were like rapping like
Hell
me
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was
Nostalgia.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crack.
My voice was very whispery.
But
Yeah.
it's inspiring though, just to see, just to know you guys both as well. I want to talk about some Lansing history. Can you talk about the space you had that you were
sure.
talking about earlier?
Yeah. Well, in that space was like,
So where was it?
okay, it was next to where Rum Runners was.
Yeah, on Michigan Avenue,
on
right?
Michigan Avenue next to the stadium.
Yeah.
Right across from where the Capital City Market is now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And it was called CHILL, Creating Hope in Lansing Lives, the acronym.
What made you want to start that?
It was actually one of the other low points in my life was I was married, and when we got divorced, he committed suicide.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
And he was just like, it was just like, so we have so many suicides in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so devastating, all the lost hope, and I just wanted to create some hope. And I'm still trying, and we keep losing people, and I'm just trying so hard to like build something, and it's just like it's a snowball. So I'm just like starting kind of like with hair. So that's where I try to go big.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I got to bring it back to just hair, because that's where I'm really good. But the chill space was, so I was friends with Chris Lasario, who had Laserius Labs recording studio. I was friends with Cody Big John, who had War Paint, screen printing and embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came across this guy, Donnie, who had a tattoo shop. And what else was there? And then there was me doing hair and image stuff. And we had someone else doing like advertising and stuff. So anyway, it was just kind of like a one-stop shop for our target market was for local artists that they could get recorded. They could have me put their like image together. They could get photographed. They could have their shirts made to sell at the shows. And who doesn't need tattoos? Everybody needs more tattoos. So, that was more for us. It's like, yeah, sure, we can fit you in here.
And then they need tattoos too,
Yeah,
right?
we need tattoos.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so we got tatted, but it was just it was a huge space. I think it was like 3,000 square feet. So it was
That's
just like,
big.
what else can we get in here? And I needed to figure out how I was going to pay the bills there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, like
Everything.
Yeah, everything. But without a plan, you really can't communicate with each other well. So, and I think I just saw you talking about structure. Yeah. We didn't have the structure.
Yeah.
I had the ideas, and we used that space for a lot of different things. And it was a good time for about 2 years. We hosted different events and had bands could practice there. And, we made products. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time. It was like a sabbatical, really. We didn't make any money. We just made enough to like pay the bills. And, it was a good time. It was a good learning experience. And I would love to do something like that in the future, because I feel like I'm not, any attention that I'm getting, I don't want it or need it like for me.
Yeah.
I want to keep like getting the attention so that I can like, when I'm ready to like do something with it, then we can do something with it. But like, it's not because I want to be like a Taylor Swift, or like, I don't want to be like, I have like my own feelings about like celebrity, it's like, I don't want a bunch of fans like screaming at me ever. Like that's not what I'm going for. Like I would see it more like what you guys are doing, like a podcast or like a show or something. It's like, I could use my platform. I could use my attention that I'm getting to like bring attention to other people.
How did you realize that attention was valuable?
When I started making money from it, I guess,
When was that? How was that?
Well, just like, I mean, I think that it kind of started, I don't know how to say this in like a way that's not going to sound weird, but like, I've just always had this thing where it's like, I get attention, but I got it for other reasons before, it's like I was into my image and I was like a different person. I was in like lip gloss and high heels is what one of my friends would call it. That was my era at that time. And that's what would get the attention. And that's now what I want now. So now I keep my look very, muted. And it's I'm like a cartoon character where you already know what I'm going to look like every day. You don't have like, that's not where the attention is at. So now I like for the attention to be on my work and like the, you know, the value, the value that I'm giving in that way. But I do feel like I have the ability to get attention. Maybe it's because I'm creative or artistic or something. So I can like, I know how to like present my product, whatever it is I'm trying to sell. So yeah, I just want to be able to use that in a like a productive way, not just like a selfish way.
When did you realize that attention was valuable?
I don't know. So basically, similar story, kind of how I started. I was doing music, rapping, and then I needed beats. Figured couldn't buy any beats, and then started making beats. Then I started filming. And I think I realized attention was valuable when I started asking people how much music videos cost when I was a kid, and they were like $8,000. You know, like the first music director I met, I don't know if he's still out there. His name was Sean Babas, and I think he charged like $8,000 for a music video. And at the time, he was the biggest music video person around. And that's when I was like, oh, people really pay for this, and this means something. So then I started being like, I need to be that person.
Yeah. I just did a one-on-one call with someone before this, and he was talking about doing $100 music videos, and he was like, you know, and I know that I should be moving up and blah blah blah, and he was just getting started. And then and he was saying like, you know, it'd be awesome to be able to get like 150 maybe, or you know, possibly even like one day 200 and stuff. And I was like, all right, do you want me to tell you how to go from where you are to where that is? And yeah, I gave him the rundown on just imagine. One thing I told him, so I guess some advice would be, every time you do the thing that you do that you're selling, always document it. So I said, there's a reason why, which is good because I'm intentional about it, is usually when people call me, one of the first things they say in the start of the phone call is like, yo, I know that you're really busy, you got a lot going on, but real quick. And then they say it. And so I was asking like, why do you think they say that? And also if people talk to me and they're like, are you even going to be in town? Or, you know, I know you got a lot going on, but if you have some availability here. And I said, why did they say that? And it said, because it's what I've done with social media and what I've put out there. And they would never assume that I'm busy if I didn't show that I'm busy. So like we're doing a podcast right now. Of course, I'm going to post stories and content to show we're doing a podcast right now. I messed up. I didn't get stories of doing the calls earlier, but I may go back to the recording of the call and like take a picture of it with my phone to be like, oh, shout out to so-and-so for the, you know, one-on-one call, et cetera. But I was just telling them, if you don't show people how busy you are, then they would never know that you're busy. And people know that the busier you are, the more valuable your time is. And the more valuable your time is, the more expensive whatever it is that you sell is going to be. So I guess that would be my rundown on like raising your prices by documenting every single time that you do the thing that you do.
Right.
It's like if I was doing hair and tomorrow if I had 5 cuts, I'd find a way to get some sort of B-roll.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the videos, if I knew it was going to be a certain type of cut or something, it'd be like, all right, this is going to be a really cool before and after. I'll do before and after style for this one. These other ones, I don't know so much. I'll just get some B-roll of it. And for one of them, I'll get this angle. And for the other one, I'll get more of a close-up angle.
Right.
Maybe I'll even do a day in the life tomorrow too. And that's like a 4th piece of content. And so I'll just be thinking of the content to showcase. I have so much going on. And so then it trains people to know and see that this person's really busy. There are a lot of things going on. And there's all this proof. I see all these different customers that you're working with. So it's not like you're just pulling it out of thin air. Because if you think, what would the opposite be? Imagine if you didn't post anything at all for the next 30 days. No one is going to assume that you're busy. No one would assume that your prices are going up. No one would assume that like your time is in demand. So yeah, that's my thoughts
good
on
tip.
that.
That's a good tip. I try to keep that in mind too. Like if someone reaches out and wants something, it's like, okay, well, my clients usually have to wait, you know, this amount of time. So I'm going to have this person, like say it's a brand, or I'm trying to think when I've applied that, but there's been times where I have to remind myself, like, even if I am available, I like to just push it out just to be like, you can't get in, you know, and I've been posting lately to be like, oh, you know, I have some time, you know, tomorrow, or I have some time this week and stuff. But when I was growing and stuff, it's like, I didn't, I didn't really want to give people the impression that they could like squeeze in last minute,
Yeah.
you know, like get the impression that you need to book that appointment before you leave in order to get in within the next few months, you know? So
Now you gave me and Martin each one of these.
yeah.
What are they? Where are they from?
Shout out Juice Nation.
Shout out Juice Nation.
Where are they
Definitely,
located?
got to plug that the local businesses.
Lansing?
Lansing, they've got a location downtown Lansing, and then they've got one. They had one in Old Town, and they just moved it to Okemos. So it's like Okemos Road and Jolly.
And they have one in East Lansing, I think on Grand River.
Oh,
It's like
why
in
didn't
the
he
same
mention
plaza
that?
as Whole Foods, I think. Is that still there? Pretty sure.
I don't think so.
It's like a Thai restaurant, and then it's like Juice Nation. It's this little small.
Right. I feel like that was something. Was it Juice Nation though? I feel like it was something else.
I feel like
she
I
would
don't know.
I
But
just-
that juice is they could be. But I think I talked to the owner today when I bought those, and I think that he would have mentioned that. I think it's just downtown in the Okemos one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's like lemonade, lavender, charcoal, maple syrup, and it's black, so it
Slapping.
like coordinates with the theme. So I had to put you guys on.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Yeah. Where can people book you? Where can people find you?
Link in bio.
Link in
Um,
bio.
Yeah. Ashely Medina hair.
Okay.
Everywhere. Yep.
I have a quick little last minute question too.
Yeah.
How do you decide what not to share on social media? Like at one point, did you ever think about way more than the hair side, and then you tried it and were like, ooh, it's too inconvenient. I'll just stick to showcasing mostly around hair, or what led
Oh
to
yeah.
that?
I mean, so when I had chill, it was like, and this was when I was on my shit. I don't know what I was on. I didn't have a child yet. So I was very much on my own shit at the
Mhm.
time, you know? So it was like chill by lifestylist Ashely Medina. And, you know, I mean, that is kind of like, it was too much. It's cringy now to think of it. But like, I do kind of see things as like whole, like high lifestyle thing, like my food prep and the working out, you know, and taking care of my body, like hygiene, you know, stuff like that. I'd like to share all this stuff because I feel like when I talk to someone about it, I feel like a lot of times they're like, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way, or oh, you
Mhm.
can do that, or oh, like how do you food prep and get everything done in this amount of time? And you know, so I like to share that stuff, and I do share sometimes like my day in the life type of like lifestyle things.
I like that type of stuff.
I know, I do too. Those do take a lot more effort. And so again, I've just been doing a lot of B-roll lately because I have been really busy.
Yeah.
And I have been down because of that whole situation.
Yeah.
Like it really got me down. And so
Yeah.
that's really around the time that I started doing like those B-rolls and being
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I can definitely do a 5-second video right now, you know?
Yeah.
And not having to like talk on camera and like be on camera and stuff so much.
I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Since you got that off your chest, you seem like you got better energy
Yeah.
too.
Thanks.
And then one last thing I want to say before we get out of here, because I know you said it's the reason why you kind of stay in Lansing to show people that you know you can do it here as well.
Yeah.
Can you just give some motivation to, I would say, the community, you know, in the sense of people that want to do something?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the beauty of the internet right now is that it doesn't matter like if you're from a small town, like we can do it from here, we can do it from anywhere, you know? Do whatever you're doing and share it with the world. Like it's going to resonate with somebody. Somebody is going to think it's cool as shit and they're going to appreciate you sharing it. And even if it's just like that one person, it's like that snowball thing where it starts to grow and they start to gain that trust. They start to know what they can count on you for and they will start tuning in. You know, you just got to seduce people. Those B-roll videos are pretty easy, just showing things that you're doing, a little 5-second video of showing what you're doing and like explain it a little bit in the caption. And, yeah, I think that like we're better together, right? Like we can do it together.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Hey guys, thank you all for tuning in to the Something in the Water podcast. Let us know in the comments what stood out the most to you in this episode. Also, what would you name this episode? I want to ask you that. Based on, we just wrapped up the conversation, what stood out the most to you if you were to title this episode?
Go Lansing.
Go. I think the word mullet should be in there.
Okay.
The mullet queen.
I don't know. I feel like we
Oh,
barely,
It's
we
not
didn't really even talk about
racist.
mullets
No.
that much. I
Yeah,
feel like
we
it's about
didn't.
so
We
much
didn't.
more.
No,
It's
no.
about so much more than mullets, Crackaway.
From mullets to
Oh, how about so much more than mullets?
So much
more than
yeah,
mullets.
More than mullet. Oh yeah, mullets. I said mullets.
Mullets plus more.
Oh,
Mullets
yeah.
and
But
more.
wait, there's more.
I like that. I like
I
that.
like
Let
that
us
one,
know in
too.
the comments. Please subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, please and thank you. Put links to follow all of us in the description, and we'll see you guys next time.